Roman walked straight into the heart of enemy territory, alone, no army, no backup, just a man, a plan, and the kind of cold confidence that makes empires nervous. What happened next left an entire imperial court speechless. The meeting had been going well enough until it wasn't. With a smile that carried no warmth, Roman delivered the news that would shake Philadelphia to his core. The alliance with the rebels was over. Not because of betrayal in the traditional sense, but because Roman had never considered it a real alliance to begin with. He laid it out plainly. When he first aligned with the rebel forces, there had been no loyalty, no trust, no shared cause. It was a transaction, nothing more. And now that Hernard was crumbling, that transaction had simply expired. What followed was worse than any outright betrayal. Roman explained with unsettling calm that his true purpose had been to use the stage the rebels created, to grind down Valhalla's military strength from the inside, let both sides tear each other apart, let the casualties mount. Because no matter who fell in the end, the Dimitri kingdom would be the one left standing to benefit. The communication device cut off before anyone could respond. Silence filled the imperial chamber. Then the cold sweat started. Philadelphia's mind raced through every decision, every move, every moment he had felt even slightly in control, and the terrifying possibility crystallized. Had they been walking into Roman's trap from the very beginning? Philadelphia turned to the emperor immediately, urging a full withdrawal. Pull the troops back, crush the rebellion before the situation deteriorated any further. The other ministers fell in line, bowing in unison, fear written plainly across their faces. The emperor's response was laughter, not nervous laughter, not the kind that masks fear. Genuine, thunderous amusement that rolled through the stone chamber like something between confidence and madness. He looked at the panicked faces around him and declared that he knew exactly what he was doing, that Roman was unlike any man he had ever encountered in his life, and his eyes carried fascination rather than dread. The troops would not be withdrawn. The order stood. The rebel forces at Hernard were to be wiped out completely. Philadelphia clenched his jaw and accepted the command. There was nothing else he could do. But before the words had even fully left his mouth, the chamber doors burst open. A guard, breathless and pale, sprinted inside with a single report. Roman had appeared at Marlin, the capital, the seat of the empire, the so-called impregnable fortress. The hall erupted. Ministers exchanged horrified glances. Nobody could explain how he had gotten there so fast or why he had come alone. Outside the towering walls, Roman stood beneath the dark sky, radiating a stillness that felt more dangerous than rage. The guards on the battlements trained their weapons on him and demanded identification. He told them exactly who he was, Roman Dimitri of the Dimitri kingdom. The confusion that followed was almost predictable. A man standing alone before a fortified imperial capital, surely he had come to surrender. The gates, per orders from above, slowly ground open. A messenger cautiously approached and asked why Roman had come. Roman's answer was methodical. Marlin's walls were famous for a reason. High, reinforced, surrounded by layered magic circles designed to disrupt spellcasting. The only reliable way inside was through the warp gate, or by having the gates opened from within. He had considered two options: force his way through the fortress directly, pushing beyond his own limits, or make himself the bait and let Valhalla open the gates for him. He had chosen the second. As he finished speaking, Roman produced a concealed magic scroll from his wrist. The messenger barely had time to shout a warning before the scroll activated. Darkness swallowed everything. The blackout spell, dark cloud, erupted outward in every direction, consuming the soldiers before they could react. Within seconds, the entire area outside the gates was wrapped in impenetrable shadow. Guards stumbled blindly. Weapons pointed at nothing. The wall of darkness pressed down on their senses and hollowed out their confidence. One guard tried to hold the line. He reminded the others that dark cloud had no direct lethality. It was a visual disruption, nothing more. Keep formation, hold position, wait for the mages to dispel it. He was trembling as he said it. Then the screaming started. One by one, sounds cut through the darkness. Not battle cries, but the kind of sounds that follow finality, the kind that leave silence in their wake. When the Imperial mages finally cast moonlight and pushed back the shadows, the guard found himself standing alone in a field of motionless bodies. Every soldier around him had fallen. The ground was still. The threat was already gone. Inside the audience hall, the atmosphere had collapsed entirely. Ministers muttered in barely concealed panic. Someone pointed out that Ares had already brought down Caesar, ranked first among Valhalla's elite. If Caesar was gone, who was left who could stand against Roman? Belelphia stood apart from them, silent, his heartbeat loud in his own ears. The emperor, however, had not moved. He sat on his throne with that same unsettling smile, as though the situation was developing exactly the way he had hoped. Then a single footstep echoed in the corridor outside. Everyone went still. Roman stepped into the chamber. He scanned the room briefly, noting that no one had fled despite knowing he was coming. He found that mildly interesting. Did that mean they believed they could stop him? He walked forward steadily as he said what he had come to find out. Whether Valhalla truly had the power to prevent a direct assassination attempt from him, he intended to witness the answer himself. The Emperor raised one hand lazily. From the shadows around the throne, a group of hooded figures materialized, cloaked, still, radiating a dark and suffocating aura. The chamber shifted. Even the air felt different. Roman's sword moved before anyone could blink, one clean, devastating slash. The hooded figures came apart instantly, but something was wrong. The Emperor spoke without flinching. Those beings could not be destroyed through conventional force. They were the immortal swordsmen. As his words settled over the room, the severed fragments of each figure dissolved quietly into the air, and then began to reform, piece by piece, back into complete standing forms. Roman had just cut them down without effort, and they were already getting back up. The chapter ends here, but the real confrontation is only just beginning. Roman is inside the capital, face to face with the Emperor, and the Empire's final trump card has just revealed itself. Whether immortality is truly a wall Roman cannot break through, that answer is coming.